Hello everyone and welcome back to the X-Ring. I've got a really exciting episode for you today. I have the pre-production model of the Genesis 12, the Gen 12 competition. So stick around. All right, so before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to Peace of Mind Guns. Mason, you know who you are, for helping align this with the guys over at Genesis. If you guys have watched John Wick 4, you've actually seen the Gen 12. If you've seen it on Garand Thumb, this is the latest, greatest semi-automatic, auto-loading magazine-fed shotgun in 12 gauge. Now, this is nothing new. This has actually been out a few years, and over the last couple of years, they've really had a chance to develop this and refine it. You've got some big names in the industry, like Patrick Kelly and Ron Fuchs. Those guys have been running this. And what makes it unique, separate from, like, let's say a Typhoon or, you know, the VR80s or anything like that, this is made in the USA. It's made in Idaho. It does have a short stroke action on it, so you actually have a reciprocating barrel. This is the competition model with an 18-inch barrel and a muzzle brake. You can't have a muzzle brake that directs gas rearwards for less recoil because, of course, it's going to retard the system from working properly. As far as the competition model, what's going to be different, it does have dual charging handles. It comes with the Hyperfire trigger, and it is built off of an AR-10 lower. You don't have any cast parts in this or anything like that. We did top this off with a Holosun that I just picked up at the gun store a few minutes ago, just to see how this thing runs. So I've got high hopes for this because it's been very, very tough moving to open division, finding a shotgun that runs reliable. And that's regardless of whether you're running a Dissident or a Typhoon or an R&R. I've just seen a lot of issues over the last year with these shotguns, so I'm hoping I get something that just runs right out of the box. So let's go ahead and evaluate this thing and get it underway. All right, so before we get started shooting, I want to talk about these magazines, because right now all they have are 5 and 10 round magazines. And as you guys well know, in open division for 3-gun, that is not going to work. You're going to need a 15 or a 20 round magazine. They do offer now 2-round extensions. So we do have 12 rounds in here, but you're going to start losing a lot of time when you're going against guys with 20-round mags. So Ron Fuchs is actually a gentleman you can get in touch with. He's actually developed a 20-round magazine where you take 2 magazines, you flip one, and he's got a coupler that he's designed. And I think his kits run around $50 or so. So I already have those on the way, and he's been running those for quite a while now without any issues. So at least that resolves that problem. Now, as far as the magazine, this is a very unique magazine. It does have feed lips right here, or keepers, if you will. And what this keeps from happening is ovalizing the cartridges. I know back in the day, way back when the Sega 12s came out, a lot of patrol officers were wanting a semi-automatic shotgun that was magazine fed. But when you take one of these with all of that spring pressure, and you put it in a patrol car that might get up to about 140 degrees internally in the summer, or even higher in the out west if you're in Arizona or something, what would happen is the spring pressure would ovalize the cartridges, and so they wouldn't be round. I know that this is supposed to keep all the pressure upwards without ovalizing the cartridges. I'll show you an up close of this magazine and the follower, and it does have last round bolt hole. For today, what we're going to be shooting is Federal Top Gun. This is just 1,200 feet per second. I actually just bought it over at Sportsman's Warehouse, and we're going to see how this thing runs. Now remember, this is a pre-production model. When it actually hits the streets and is available to the general public, you're looking at a price point of around $3,800. But in speaking to Cody, And the guys over there at Genesis were unbelievable in answering some of the questions that I had before I did this video. One of the things with these semi-automatic shotguns is if you get a cartridge that's a little bit out of round, it doesn't feed. So one of the things that he told me, and right off the bat, I don't know if this is going to be fair to them, but they said they developed this so much that you can actually egg shape these things and it should still feed. I'm a little apprehensive to even think that that might work, but we're going to try it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take these two cartridges, I'm going to hold it up close here, and I'm going to squeeze this until it ovalizes like a cat eye or a fish egg. So you guys can see that. It's not even round anymore. You see that? And I'm going to do it with this one as well. And so you guys can see that that is not round whatsoever. I'm going to take 2 rounds. I hope this works. They said it'll feed reliably regardless. So let's just try 2 rounds with those ovalized shells and let's see what happens. All right, so I actually have some witnesses out here. I am so skeptical of this. I did it again and I oriented the rounds where one is horizontal and one is vertical. Let's see if we can do this. Hold on, I think I slapped that one in a little too hard. All right, there we go. So now we're set up and you guys can see this one is in the vertical orientation. It chambered. Wow, that is a game changer. It really is. You don't understand how big that is. I wonder if that makes it any less accurate. I don't know, but let's go ahead and run some serious rounds to this thing. All right, guys, so this is going to be a little bit different today. I don't have a cameraman with me, but one of the range members, Will, is out here. He has no experience with this shotgun. What do you know about the Gen 12?
Oh, what I've seen online.
Only what you've seen online. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run the camera. I trust his shooting ability, and I'm going to give him 2 12-round magazines. I'm going to get his input on it, his thoughts on what the recoil feels like. Now, do you have any shotguns or do you shoot shotguns?
No.
Not at all. All right, so here you go. Let me get the camera. I'm going to detach it. And what we're going to try to do, guys, is we're going to try to just get some action footage following him around. So, on you, Will. Try to move forwards. There you go.
Thumb stop the bolt.
That's all right. And last round bolt hold. Will, what are your initial impressions of that shotgun?
Very soft shooting. It cycles really well. The one thing I did notice on that reload, drop the bolt forward, my thumb actually stopped it with the charging hand.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, and I got to check and see if that's removable.
That's
but
probably just me, honestly. My thumb comes up high right here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, or if you do a palm slap, you're going to hit the charging handle.
Yep.
Well, thanks for that, Will. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, so regardless of who you talk to, there's a whole subculture of guys running box-fed shotguns that at the matches, they use a cooler with cold packs to keep the shotgun shells nice and cool so they don't deform. This is why this is such a big thing. But I'm here to see if this is going to do what I need it to do this year. I am shooting the Duskin again this year. That's a brutal match. I'm honored to be able to be invited to that one again. So I want to check a couple things, and I'm not being fair. Like I said, I want to really see what this thing will do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge this, and I'm going to shoot it into the berm just like this to see if it will cycle. I'm not going to shoulder it or anything else, and I'm going to hold it kind of loosely. Let's see what happens. Here we go, going hot. All right, so it's got to have a little bit of help for this short stroke action. Otherwise, you're going to leave it empty in there. Let me hold it a little bit tighter. I think we're good. And we got a malfunction there. So you are going to have it firmly in the shoulder, but these are things that you need to know. I don't think that's going to be an issue otherwise. So what we'll do is I'm going to shoot around the corner. Let's go ahead and hit those plates. Hopefully I don't hit my camera. And we'll see if this thing runs. We'll do a magazine change in between. So I've got a dueling tree over here. I'll shoot a couple rounds into it. You won't be able to see it, but here we go. All right, let's finish it off. All right, so no problem getting locked back. It's super reliable right out of the box, guys. I haven't even oiled this thing, but you are gonna have to shoulder it because with that barrel moving rearwards like that, you're gonna have something for it to hit against. So far, I'm darn impressed with this thing. Got last round bolt hold on that. Actually, the recoil is not that bad. Let me go ahead and do this in slow-mo and let you guys take a look at this. All right, so 3 full mags, locked back on 2, didn't get a lock back on the 1, but remember, this is straight out of the box. The recoil is actually very manageable. I do like the dot and how clear I can see it. As long as the Holosun can hold up. I don't know on the shotgun, but pretty impressed with it so far. It has the standard AR controls. My intention is to eventually make this into a machine gun or machine shotgun, if you will. I did talk to Cody about that, and those guys were really, really helpful in telling me the differences between some of these shotguns that they do, especially with their machine guns, like in the 7-inch barrel or so. I think I'm really going to like this. It is reminiscent looking at it. The aesthetics look similar to a Typhoon. The only difference is this ran right out of the box without a 200-round break-in, which, by the way, just to update you, we've got John Kreiderman over here. He actually bought the Typhoon. We modified the magazines to get rid of that last round bolt hold, and that thing runs perfectly. This is made in the USA. These guys at Genesis 12, they're out of Idaho. So let me go ahead and put some slugs in here and see if we can get some impacts on some small targets at 100. All right, so I just put the slugs in here. I'm gonna see if we can hit this little third IPSC at 100 yards. Just beneath it. Oh, no question about that. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't get excited about mini guns anymore. I mean, they're fun and all, but this one I'm excited about. If this can run reliable, I'm going to be ecstatic. So let's go ahead and try to run the spinner. We'll do 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. Here we go. All right, so I've not sighted this in for slugs yet, but I can tell you that N3 gun, kind of the standard is the low recoil Fiocchi or the Federal slug. So this is what it's probably gonna be using when I actually shoot in competition. So let's see if it'll even work with the low recoil slugs, and let me see if I can get this dialed in to be zeroed for 50 yards. Yeah, so just favoring the left-hand side just a hair, but no issues. Let's go ahead and go for that spinner. No problem, almost spun it over there. Yeah, so great so far. All right, so what's my take on the Gen 12 competition? Well, I think I'm in love, all right? I think it is the best shotgun to date, box fed, as far as reliability, accuracy. It is unparalleled, okay? It doesn't matter if you're talking about the Dissidents or the Typhoons or any of the other ones out there, the VRs or whatever. Right out of the box, this has not had a single malfunction in over 250 rounds, with the exception of the Fiocchi low recoil slug. And then I also tried some 1100 feet per second birdshot, which I was told not to do. I was told this shotgun really likes 1200 feet per second or more. I will tell you that the recoil is a little more harsh than some of the other offerings. You're really limited on what you can do with the brake with this shotgun, and that is because you can't direct that gas rearward. So while the shotgun recoil is very manageable, it is a little more than some of your other competitors out there. Coming on down with the handguard, I like the handguard. It's a very, very smooth handguard. It doesn't feel overly large. You can actually get a full wraparound with your hand on this. I like that they give you a provision for a front sight, because I will add some flip up irons, because some of you guys also know that with some of these box fed shotguns, your birdshot pattern will be different than your slug. So it's good to have an alternative, or maybe run one that is a slug and then the other one for the birdshot. The charging handle. Love the charging handle. I like having the versatility of being able to do both sides. However, just like what happened with Will, the proximity of the charging handle in relationship to the bolt release or the bolt lock does get it kind of close, and your thumb can get in the way, but that's something that you can alleviate with training. As far as the magwell, I love this magwell, and it's no issue taking a full magazine and seating it with the bolt closed. Bolt or open, it doesn't matter. That's been a non-issue. I like how that it comes with the K&S anti-walk pins. You do have the Hyperfire trigger. The stock here is not bad. I will tell you, it had a little rubber insert here, but that's already been lost somewhere. I don't know where, but it did come off. It has a little knight on it right here, like a chest piece. I like the recoil pad here because it does help with a lot of the recoil. The shotgun is super, super nice. I've had zero malfunctions. I've not cleaned this whatsoever. So what we're going to do is, I haven't looked on the inside of this yet, but let's go ahead and see what it looks like separating the upper from the lower. Now, what I was told by Cody is this is just a standard AR-10 lower, like what you'd see on a DPMS, something like that. Now, remember, there's no continuity or standard. You know, the difference between an Armalite AR-10 or a DPMS or an SR-25 are going to vary. I was told that they weren't really ever looking to get into the firearms industry and just to sell the uppers. But the problem is if you just take brand X lower, it might not work with their upper. So as far as the bolt carrier group and all of that, I haven't looked at this. There is no charging handle up top here, but I'm sure at this point these would actually pull out. If not, then I don't know, because there was no owner's manual provided with this because it is a pre-production model. So let me take a look at it real quick, see if this maybe just pulls out or if it unscrews. Doesn't look like it does either. I don't know. I'll have to call them and find out. It does have a rotating bolt, just like on an AR. You guys will see this. Very similar to like the Benelli's, where you've got that rotating bolt and the locking lugs. It is a great setup. It's very simple. I have no idea how this short stroke works. I'm not going to get into that because I was told that's something you probably want to leave alone. It does have pressure here where you can see it, and it does have a way to take the firing pin out, but I've got to figure out how to get these charging handles out. I don't know if it's a rotation or what, but it's definitely not a pull. So I hope you guys enjoyed that review of the Genesis 12 competition. Like I said, it's a first look at it, and so far, very, very impressed with it. Oh, one last thing. It did come with 3 choke tubes. Right now, it is running thin wall Briley choke tubes. It came with a full, an IC, and I think a modified. However, the choke tool that's provided, because they don't normally have a break like this, won't quite reach that choke tube. So I've just been shooting this with a modified and just making it work. The comp is actually very thin, if you guys see this. Very thin metal. I wonder how that'll hold up over time. I guess it would be good enough, but I know these have been running for quite a while. I'll let you guys take a look at the end right here where it's captured so that this barrel is floating. And I think that's it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys take care. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.